In Lesson 6 today, we're talking about rules for addition, adding more than two numbers, inserting parentheses mentally, and the definition of subtraction. And in this lesson, we're going to start off by adding -5 plus 4 plus -3 plus +2. And when we do this problem, we could use the number line in directed numbers like we did in Lesson 5, or we could add mentally. And adding mentally, step by step, is a very efficient way to do this. More efficient, in fact, than using those directed numbers. So what we're going to do is we're going to work from left to right. And the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to add mentally -5 plus 4. -5 plus 4, that must give us -1. So now we have -1 plus -3 plus +2. We're going to work in the same order. We're going to go from left to right. So we're going to work from left to right. We're working here. -1 plus -3, that must give us -4. We've got -4 plus +2. We've got our last part of the problem, -4 plus +2. That must give us an answer of -2. And -2 would be the first one that we get, our first answer for this lesson, lesson number 6. Now, the next problem is to simplify. And in this problem, we're simplifying -4 minus 3 plus 2 minus 4 minus 3 minus 2. And it sounds very complicated. But like the lesson said, we're going to go ahead and we're going to insert parentheses. And it said mentally, but we're going to show them here. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to insert parentheses around the -4 because we work from left to right. Then what we're going to do, instead of subtracting through, we're going to add all the way through, and we're going to say that this is a -3. So this -4 minus 3 is the same thing as -4 plus -3. You might know the answer to that in your head already, but hold on. We've got plus, then we've got 2, then we've got plus -4, followed by plus -3 plus -2. Putting these parentheses in is very helpful when we solve these from left to right. Now as we go through, well, we've got our first step, -4 plus -3. That must be -7. We've got -7 plus 2 plus -4 plus -3 plus -2. Now, if you were following along with that, it took us quite a while to rewrite that, and that's okay. In this one, we're going to begin with -7 plus 2, that's -5. And then we have -5. And then what we're going to do here, we've got -5 right here. We're going to go ahead, let's use a different color for that, make it a little bit easier to see. -7 plus 2 is -5. Let's go ahead and add these two next. We've got -4 plus -3. The commutative property of addition tells us the order that we do addition doesn't matter, which is very nice. It helps us speed up this process a little bit. We've got -7 plus -2. Now we can go ahead and solve. We've got -5 plus -7, that's -12. We've got -12 plus -2. And we can get our final answer of -14. If you had a question, please go ahead and back up the video or write it down for our next class. Our next problem, and our final problem for this lesson, looks like this. We've got -4 plus the absolute value of -2 plus 3 minus 7 minus 2. So we're going to use all those steps, and we're going to add this one quickly. So we've got -4 plus, and let's look at this absolute value of -2. If we've got -2, the absolute value of -2, that must be +2. When I say we're going to add it quickly, it's after we get everything organized. So plus 3 plus -7, and we're always going to add here. We're going to add with positive and negative numbers, plus -2. All right, let's go ahead and go through this. We've got -4 plus 2. -4 plus 2, that's going to give us -2. That's our first part. Okay? Then we're going to look at our next part. Let's look at 3 plus -7. We're going to get, well, we're going to get -4. Plus, we've got our last part, -2. Now we can go ahead and add negative 2 plus 4, that must be negative 6, plus negative 2. We get our final answer, negative 6 plus negative 2. What is it? Say it. You should have got negative 8. Negative 8 is our final answer. And we've used those parentheses to help us solve problems with positive and negative numbers. Remember, we're always adding as we go through these problems. Our lesson practice is going to be on page 32. Make sure you've got all your notes completed, and I'll see you during our next class.